We were back in the community of Hunt today, which is home to Camp La Junta, an iconic summer camp located right along the Guadalupe River. 12 days after the flooding, the damage is still there. For decades, it has been a place of joy for campers. But now, despite all of the damage, the owners plan to rebuild. The cabins and horse stables now gone after floodwaters ripped through the area. Now what's left is the aftermath, debris stacked in piles, which is a heartbreaking reminder of how powerful the water was. We spoke with Larry Graham and his wife Sharon, who own the camp. They face a long rebuild process and recall the terrifying moments during the early morning hours of July 4th.
By the time the morning came up, we realized that it was a real flood, and it was bigger than anything we had ever experienced before. But nobody had any reason to expect it would get that big. It had plenty of opportunities before, and it was always less than that.
Now it's all hands on deck when it comes to cleanup efforts and helping neighbors heal. In the aftermath of that deadly flooding, a new legislative committee is trying to figure out how to prevent future loss of life.
Next Wednesday, lawmakers will meet at the Capitol for the joint House and Senate Texas Disaster Preparedness and Flooding Committee, as directed by Governor Abbott. Our Yami Virgen spoke to Senator Jose Menendez, who sits on the committee, and says this is the time for action.
San Antonio State Senator Jose Menendez, who was appointed to this committee, says this is not the time for politics, but rather the time for action. Action for the families of the children who lost their lives along the Guadalupe River, and for the families who had little or no notice at all before their lives changed forever. Menendez says it will take more than money, which has been allocated, to fix what failed on July 4th. He also believes a single alert system like sirens will not be enough in rural areas where cell signals fail and terrain makes communication difficult.
In my opinion, sirens alone may or may not be good enough. I think we put all the possible options on the table, and we look at, maybe a multi-factor way of doing it. I think that there needs to be a collaborative effort between local municipalities, county, state, and federal to address a stack of finances so that everybody can have their skin in the game.
And while this committee won't investigate what went wrong, Menendez says it will push for a new policy to prevent more deaths, because this is not the first time Kerr County has faced tragedy.
As recently as 1987, there was a bus of campers where 10 kids of the, I think 40 some odd kids that were on the bus, 10 kids perished. We should have done something about this a long time ago.
From improving communications between agencies to rethinking how Texans are warned, Menendez says the work cannot wait. And this is not a partisan issue. This is a public safety issue, and Texans have to confront it head on. I will be in Austin next week for that committee meeting. Yami Virgen, Fox SA.
Yami, thank you. Senator Menendez says the next step is to gather input from flood survivors, emergency responders, and tech experts to build a new statewide alert system, one that will be ready before the next disaster strikes. That committee will meet in Kerrville at the end of the month.